Hello and welcome to TOI Auto for another review video of the 2022 facelifted Citroen C5 Aircross SUV. Around 1.5 years ago, Citroen had entered the Indian market with this flagship SUV and already it has given this a facelift. So let's see what all is new in the 2022 model. So as there is not much to report about Citroen itself in 2022, let's dive straight into what all is new in the 2022 C5 Aircross. So the first change that is going to strike you is that Citroen has sharpened up the overall design of the C5. On the front fascia, you will notice that there are sharp LED tail lamps now with a piano black grille with the Citroen logo sitting in the middle. Then there is the large air dam below, and the front scuff plate and the fog lamps have been redesigned as well. There is also the addition of these air curtains with plastic black surroundings which can be had in two color options. Sitting above all of this, there is the scooped out hood, after which the blacked out A-pillars begin. Coming back to the headlights and the front grille, Citroen has given them what it calls a piano key finish that brings a sense of uniformity. The piano key finish theme is also continued in the lower part of the grille plaques. On the side profile of the 2022 Citroen C5 Aircross is where you will find the least amount of changes being made. And that is not a problem because it was a good looking car from its side as it was. But there is one change, and that is the new design of these 18-inch alloy wheels. Apart from that, there is the continuation of the same Citroen side cladding and the use of this strong chrome borderline running across the window area. This one, as you can see, is in the dual tone color scheme that has a blacked out roof and A-pillars. The door handles have request sensors and vicinity sensors embedded in them, and then you also have the fuel cap here on the right side. Well, the sharpened out theme for the 2022 C5 Aircross continues at its rear as well. As you can see, the redesigned tail lamps have a sharpened out theme and LED inserts in them. Then there is the C5 Aircross badging here, a big Citroen logo and badging in the center, and a high mounted stop lamp here. There is also a rear wiper and defogger embedded into the rear window. Then there is also the redesigned cladding on the lower part of the bumper here, which has a set of fog claddings with chrome surrounds. Now let's get into the boot of the Citroen C5 to find out what kind of space is on offer here. Once open, you will notice that the Citroen C5 has a very shallow boot area, which, what has been told to us, offers a 580 litre of boot space, which can be extended up to 720 with the second row seats pushed forward. And if you need more space, the three second row seats can be flattened out to open up over 1600 litres of boot space. Now the initial shallow boot space in the C5 can be attributed to the full-size spare wheel that is being offered here. And once you are done storing your belongings into the car, you can simply push this button to activate the power tailgate and close the boot lid. The Citroen C5 also has the option of opening and closing the boot with the motion sensor option. Now before we hop into the C5's cabin, let me show you a quirk of this SUV. Now if you want to open up the bonnet, you have to open it from the left side rather than the right side that we are used to. I suspect it has to do something with the fact that the vehicle was originally designed to be a left-hand drive in its native country. Once opened up, unlock the lid from here, and then you are introduced to the 177 PS and 400 Newton meters of torque producing 2-liter diesel engine, which is mated to an 8-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. Alright, so now we're inside the cabin of the 2022 C5 Aircross SUV. Just like the outside, the inside has been redesigned as well. You can see there is a blacked out theme for the entire interior inside the new C5. Then there is the addition of this floating setup in the middle, which also houses the 10-inch digital touchscreen. There are capacitive touch keys to go into the UI of the digital touchscreen, and below them are tactical-like keys for the aircon, air purifier, lock unlock, and auto start stop. Right below, Citroen also is offering a wireless charger in the C5. There are two USB-A ports and one 12-volt socket as well. The center console is high placed, which gives the cabin a cockpit-like feel. Gone is the stick shifter to select between park, reverse, neutral and drive, and now you have a toggle switch to go through those modes. Right below that are the buttons for the 4 drive modes that the Citroen C5 offers. And right after that comes the electronic parking brake. There are also 2 cup holders in the middle of the center console, which also house elements of the ambient lighting. Then beyond that there are the handrests, which open up a deep storage space as well. Then there is the new flat bottom steering wheel here on the driver's side, and Citroen has also added a digital instrument panel at the front. There is use of leather on the front sides, but on the middle there is hard plastics. Then here there is some kind of fabric as well, and the vertically placed air vents seem a bit quirky to me as well. The front seats have good cushioning and are supportive. They also have this stitching in this special pattern, but where Citroen has missed out according to me is in offering ventilated seats function, which seems to be a hot topic for cars launching this year. Apart from that, the Citroen C5 also has a panoramic sunroof, which I quite like because it has separate functions for the blind and the sunroof itself. Then there is the auto dimming IRVM and chunky shifter pedals. Now let's hop into the back seat and see what kind of space the C5 Aircross offers. Alright, now we're in the rear seats of the C5 Aircross. And the special thing that I would like to point out about this rear bench is that it has been divided into 3 seats of equal proportions, which are available to be adjusted for reach and recline as well. Then the front seat is currently adjusted to my height, which is 5'11", and it has also been scooped out to give you more knee room. But there is still a bit of less under thigh support here, and headroom is also just adequate, as we have seen in other compact SUVs as well. For comfort, you also have 2 AC vents here and a USB-A slot right below. In the door panels, you have a deep and wide storage space as well. One more thing that I would like to point out here, that the Citroen C5 also offers a 3-point seat belt for the middle passenger. We got to experience the C5 in midday city conditions during our drive. It was evident that the SUV has been tuned for comfort, as all responses had a sense of detachment involved. Allow me to explain. While you can hear the vocal 2-liter diesel rev up and the 8-speed automatic switch gears, not much feedback is translated back into the cabin. The same experience continues with the steering feedback and the brakes. While everything worked as expected, the feedback was too well contained for my liking in normal mode. However, all that changed when I switched to sport mode. This is where I could first-hand feel the 400 Newton meters of torque kick in as early as 2000 RPM, and it surged me past other cars on the road. Peak power of 177 PS2 is generated at 3750 RPM, which is also the mark where the engine seems to be the happiest. I was particularly impressed with how well the C5 handled. sharp turns, switching lanes, and traffic maneuvering were a breeze, and for the most part the SUV handled as nimbly as a premium hatchback. The McPherson strut suspension at the front and twist beam axle at the rear felt a little stiff, which is good for spirited driving but not an entirely uncomfortable affair. Overall, the C5 is definitely a mile muncher, suitable for both city rides and those highway rides where one would like to sail on the heaps of torque available. So as we just saw, the C5 Aircross is definitely a nail that stands out in the space in which it competes, while the competition is definitely well established and better appointed with features. The C5 itself is a premium and refined machine worthy of the flagship status. But what I cannot help but feel is that the C5 lacks in front of its competition, both in terms of attractive features and the pricing department. For a car that will set one back close to rupees 40 lakhs on road, the C5 is unlikely to set the sales charts on fire in its 2022 avatar as well. However, what I'm sure about is that it will definitely make the shortlist for those who like to arrive in style and value quality over quantity. Tell us what you thought about this SUV in the comment section below. Like always, remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Until next time, this is Amber Banerjee signing out.